I'm meteorologist Bill Murray, and here's your AlabamaWX weather briefing video for this Sunday. It's May the 18th, and it's been a terrible and tragic weekend across parts of the United States. Fortunately, here in Alabama, no casualties, but we did have a good bit of damage, especially eastern parts of Jefferson County. Early Saturday morning from a severe thunderstorm warning. I'm hearing some reports that folks didn't get their NOAA weather radio alerts. So checking on that now because the warnings were definitely in place. Now, weather radio will not be working starting tomorrow through Wednesday. All the weather radio transmitters serviced by the National Weather Service in Birmingham is having a major software upgrade. So make sure you have a different way to receive your warnings. You know, we are the biggest proponents of weather radio, and we are going to have an active weather day on Tuesday in central Alabama, especially north and central Alabama. But there will be warnings, there will be watches, and we're going to have to be ready for this. So, again, repeating, if you don't have an alternative way to get warnings, make sure you do, because this is something we're going to have to think about. Now, severe weather today across the United States looks like this. This is the day, too. I'm recording this 10:15 Saturday night. This is, looking extensively at what we're going to see today. I think this is, pretty close to what the day one is going to look like when it comes out here in about 2 hours. Large area of marginal risk, level 1 out of 5, extends all the way over to the Atlantic coast there, the coastlines of Georgia and South Carolina, and of course including the northern 2/3 of Alabama. And that's going to be for activity this afternoon that'll be sliding across in disturbances. Now we're going to have some thunderstorms this morning across northern portions of Alabama, mainly north of I-20. I don't think they're going to be especially intense. Some of those could be a bit on the strong side, though, lightning, some gusty winds. But again, I don't think we'll see significant severe weather. Now, there is a conditional threat, and when I say conditional, I mean the atmosphere is going to be like a powder keg across Oklahoma, Kansas today. Especially northern Oklahoma and central Kansas, where very high instability is going to be in place and decent wind shear, and the probability of tornadoes is going to be very real in those areas. In fact, the SPC, as I was recording this, had a 10% significant tornado risk there in places like Ponca City, Wichita, other places there in central and southern Kansas. Our good friend Dr. Lance King is out there chasing, and he actually caught that tornado near Pauls Valley, Oklahoma, on Saturday afternoon as he was chasing. He just seems to have the knack. But this is the categorical day 2 that's going to translate pretty well, I think, into what the day 1 will look like. We're starting off, let's go back. This will not actually work. We're going to have to go back one. This is what we're starting off looking like on this Sunday morning. Temperatures generally in the middle 60s across the Tennessee Valley, upper 60s across the central part of the state, rising to around 70 down in South Alabama. Now, by afternoon, temperatures are going to look like this. We'll be in the lower 80s in the Tennessee Valley, 84 to 87 across the central part of the state. Some of the normally warmer spots in south central Alabama, in south and south central Alabama may reach 90. Places like Andalusia and Covington County, you could probably see 90. Now, putting the HRRR, projected radar in motion, this is not exactly how things will look like, but as we go through the early morning hours, showers will move into Alabama from Mississippi, kind of weaken, but as we go through the morning, as the disturbance passes, they'll, kind of re-energize across the north central part of the state. Here by 10, 11 o'clock, we could see a stronger shower storm developing there just north of I-20, and then storms will be moving in from the west from Mississippi, here by 11 a.m. To noon. You see they're beginning to fire near and just south of I-20. They develop into a loosely organized squall line that kind of pushes to the south and southeast. But really by 3 o'clock, they're beginning to go downhill. So they're going to peak mid-afternoon. Can't rule out a severe thunderstorm in that. The SPC does have that level 1 out of 5 risk. We see, later in the afternoon here around 6 o'clock or so, an isolated cell there depicted in northeast Alabama, up around Etowah, Cherokee counties. Can't rule that out. And as we go on through time, more showers moving in from the west, but it looks like they'll sort of die out during the morning hours on Monday. But we can't rule out especially as this disturbance rolls across. You'll see in just a moment we're going to have a bit of a ridge over Alabama and the southern states here by late tonight into tomorrow. And we can't rule out some thunderstorms rolling across the Tennessee Valley. Now, this is what the upper pattern looks like across North America on this Sunday morning, showing that ridging there, trying to get started along the Gulf Coast. We've got the strong system moving out into the northeast, and we've got this system here in the Rockies that is causing the problems in the plains. As we go through time, that system will sort of turn to the northeast and weaken as it rotates through, but it'll spin back around and just sort of eat away at that ridge, slide into the Great Lakes, and as it does, it's going to do two things. It'll bring us strong to severe thunderstorms for Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night. We're going to look at that in just a minute, and then it'll move into the Great Lakes, and that means some cooler weather, which we won't complain about. This summer-like weather we've had for the past few days is just a little bit too early of a reminder of what things are going to be like in June, July, and August around these parts. You see this trough kind of, sticks with us through the eastern part of the country, through a good bit of the rest of the forecast period. We're out here in week 2, and it takes us a good bit of the forecast period to get rid of it. Another system moving into the plains there by the end of the month, and a little bit of a system there in the Western Caribbean. Could that be our first tropical system in the Atlantic? I don't think so. The GFS known for that sort of stuff. Model fans, here's the GFS. This is the 18Z run of the global model. Is what we'll use for depicting what I would expect the weather's going to look like over the next 2 weeks here across Alabama. You see scattered showers and thunderstorms today across the state. Nothing widespread or too heavy, but some of those storms could be strong to severe, especially near and south of I-20 early this afternoon. There's the system by Monday night moving through, and as you go through time, we see a low-pressure system developing in the Ohio Valley there on Tuesday. That'll be the culprit that'll bring us strong to severe thunderstorms Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday night. They move on out for Wednesday, and Thursday we're cooler into Friday, into the weekend, a few showers, perhaps returning by Sunday as we move out into the week 2 period, a cold front moving through there by Monday the 26th, Memorial Day the 27th. Tuesday, but it looks like some more fine weather there in that middle of that period. End of the month, this is the 31st, moving into the 1st. It looks like a rather unsettled pattern again, and there's that system in the Western Caribbean. That's not out of the question. For sure, and it's something, of course, that we'll be watching. Now, as we start off the day on Monday, these are your Sunday night lows across Alabama. We'll be in the middle 60s again across North Alabama, upper 60s to near 70 across the central part of the state. Mobile Bay counties will be in the 70-degree range. Now, as we go into the afternoon hours on Monday, high temperature is going to be in the middle to upper 80s across the area, and that's kind of what we can expect. Now, by Tuesday, here's that low-pressure system there. This is at 18Z around 1 o'clock, centered over southern Illinois. And as we go through the next few hours, we see showers and thunderstorms breaking out there across Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, back into southeastern Missouri. Areas that have been hard hit in the past few days are going to experience it again Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night. Western Tennessee, northern Mississippi, back into eastern Arkansas. That activity pushes into the Tennessee Valley of Alabama during the late afternoon hours, according to this model run on Tuesday. And then it is pushing further into north central Alabama during the evening hours. And of course, we know that is typically the time of the day that we have the greatest instability. It's not moving anywhere very fast, and this means that we could see some pretty decent rainfall amounts. I'm not calling for any extreme amounts for sure, but that's pretty high probabilities of rain for several hours, and we'll kind of look at what kind of rainfall amounts that could drop. But the activity begins to weaken as we get into the overnight hours toward morning, toward sunrise on Wednesday, and by Wednesday morning, most of that rain is out of Alabama. Now, these are low temperatures on Tuesday morning, upper 60s up north, looking like near 70 in the I-20 corridor, with some of the more outlying areas of south central Alabama in the upper 60s. During the day on Tuesday, high temperatures are going to be quite warm. Southern half of Alabama going to be approaching 90 degrees. Most of the northern half of the state will be in the upper 80s. Now, as we get into Wednesday, we saw that, we started out the morning with the rainfall and thunderstorm activity pushing out to the southeast, clearing skies pretty quickly. Should be a beautiful day as we go through Wednesday. Should be a nice night Wednesday night. Wednesday morning temperatures going to look like this. A good bit nicer than what we've seen for the past few days, and through Wednesday, or well, really through Tuesday, we'll be in the lower to middle 60s over the Tennessee Valley, middle to upper 60s over the central part of the state, and noticeably cooler during the day on Wednesday, with Tennessee Valley readings limited to the upper 70s, lower 80s in the central part of the state, with middle 80s still common across south Alabama. Now, Thursday looks like an absolutely beautiful day, although there will be a gusty northwest wind at times. We'll start off in the 50s, rise into the probably only the and I'll kind of show you what the map looks like here in just a minute. But you see, we go through the day, we should be rain free. We should be mostly sunny, starting off in the 50s over the northern part of the state, 60s to the south. Afternoon high temperatures will be generally around 70 in the Tennessee Valley, probably in the 73 to 75 degree range. I might be a little chilly with my depiction on the 7-day at 72, but 74, 75 be a great day to have lunch outside on Thursday with mostly sunny skies. And then as we get into Friday, it looks like another beautiful day. After a cool morning, as you'll see in just a minute, should be a sunny day with high temperatures, again, limited to the 70s. But you see, we start off in normally colder locations in north central, northwest Alabama, might be in the 40s Friday morning. Calling for 49 there at Haleyville. How about 54 at Birmingham? A lot of locations in North Alabama right around 50 degrees. And as we get into the afternoon hours on Fridays, looking like 71 to 73 across the Tennessee Valley, 73 to 76 across the central part of the state. So not a bad day at all. Now, as we head toward the weekend, it looks like we're going to start off again with another quite nice day. Temperatures Saturday morning will be quite comfortable in the middle 50s. Afternoon temperatures ranging into the 80 degree range. Rain probably returns to North Alabama Saturday night. And is around for the northern third of the state on Sunday morning. Another impulse moves through, pushes that rain a little further south, perhaps down to I-20 or a little further south during the day on Monday. And then that cold front gets enough of an impetus to push into South Alabama by Monday night. And it looks like we have another couple of good days there along the way. These were those temperatures for Saturday. Should be a beautiful day with high temperatures in the 70s over the northern third of the state, northern half of the state, with lower 80s over south central Alabama, middle 80s over the southern part of the state. Now, these are precipitation amounts. These are anomalies. This is over the 16-day period out through June 2nd. Looking like much of the area will be slightly drier than normal. Tennessee Valley may be a little wetter than normal, but it looks like much of the area could be slightly drier than normal. Generally, let's see, rainfall amounts over that period, and I'll kind of matter of fact, I'll move in here real close so we can kind of look at what the GFS is thinking. Generally 2¼ to 3 inches across the Tennessee Valley. Maybe a little swath over west central Alabama with some better rainfall amounts, up to 2 inches. But everybody else generally around 1 to 1.5 inches over the next couple of weeks. Now, I didn't really dig in to the severe weather threat on Tuesday, so we've got time to do that. As a matter of fact, let's do that right now. This is I'm going to go to pivotal weather here for just a minute, and I'm going to take a peek at what kind of what we're looking at for Tuesday. This is the 12Z run. Let me get us out here where we want to be. We'd like to be somewhere around Tuesday at 0Z. We've got a surface low there, 1,002 millibars, somewhere in central Kentucky. That is, potential problem for us. Maybe not a perfect location for severe weather. Dew points, though, are in the 70s just to our west. We're in the middle to upper 60s here across central Alabama, but as we go through time, those dew points will rise, and those dew points will slide into Alabama during the late afternoon. So we're going to have plenty of moisture there for strong to severe thunderstorms, certainly, and the Cape will reflect it. We'll see some Cape values to the west of us in the 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram range during the mid-afternoon hours, dropping a bit during the late afternoon, 1,500 to 2,000 joules, but that's still plenty for severe weather. And as we go on into the evening hours across central Alabama, those Cape values look like they drop off just a bit, and that's good news. We'll take that. The 300 millibar winds, are going to be quite strong. Looks like sort of a double-barreled jet pattern there, with very strong winds, 95 to 100 knots across central Alabama. Another pattern, another jet to the north there along the Arkansas and Missouri border, and a bit of a diffluent pattern aloft, up at about 35,000 feet. When those winds are spreading like that, that sometimes can help those thunderstorms ventilate, and that could be a problem. The other thing we'll be watching, the winds at about 18,000 feet are going to be very strong, 55 to 60 knots. That provides that directional shear that you need for those storms to remain organized, and in fact that's going to be the case, that bulk shear from the surface to 500 millibars, that pressure level at about 18,000 feet, will be really strong. And during the early afternoon, just to the west of Alabama, it could be 60 to 65 knots, and that does translate into the state during the late afternoon. So that peak period there between about 4 and 7 o'clock gives me a bit of concern. So as we get on out there in time, let's get this model pushed out here to this is between 21Z and 0Z on Wednesday afternoon. We see this line of thunderstorms into Alabama, just kind of picking a sample sounding there, in central Alabama, and it is indicative of severe weather. Indicative even of the possibility of a tornado. So we'll be watching that very closely. Cape values around 1,500. We talked about those bulk shear numbers being really high, 60, maybe even, 57 knots. That is certainly indicative of strong to organized thunderstorms. Plenty of moisture, very a very significant situation. The storm relative felicity is not really, off the top of the chart. 138 meters squared per second squared are LCLs in a very favorable location. So, Tuesday is a day that we're going to have to watch across north and central Alabama. As you remember, the SPC did have that level 3 out of 5 across the northwestern part of Alabama. And I think that'll probably be true. So we could see enhanced. I don't think we'll see moderate, that level 4 out of 5, but, certainly not high. Level 5 out of 5, but it's going to be a significant day and something that we'll have to watch. These are temperatures off the national blended model, so you can see the little bit of a roller coaster there with that trough coming into play. Warmest 2 days over the next 11 will be tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday. We'll fall back just a bit on Wednesday as that front gives us some cooler air, and then we get a nice, refreshing little run there. Even the NBM now buying into that 79 on Saturday. I had tweaked that back up to about 80, but I may have to go back in and pull it back down to 79. I know that's just 1 degree, but it's psychological. Psychological as we head toward June. Then we'll be consistently in the lower 80s as we move into that second week. Don't forget what I told you about the weather radio being out Monday through Wednesday. All the central Alabama locations, those transmitters are going to be out of service. So just remember that. Tune in to Weather Brains tomorrow night. Kevin Laws, the incredible leader of the effort behind reducing false alarm ratios at the National Weather Service in Birmingham about 10 to 15 years ago, will be with us, and we'll be talking about that very specific thing, how Birmingham office continues to lead in that regard, and how important that is, and how hard those numbers are for the general public to understand, and why other weather service offices need to be following their lead. But that's your weather video for this Sunday the 18th. I'll have notes on the blog. I'll have a complete update coming up for you at noon. I'll tweak the forecast as is needed. We'll be watching any of those storms to make sure they don't misbehave during the early afternoon. And we will continue to keep you updated on the threat of severe weather for Tuesday. But until I get to see you next Sunday, Scott will be here next Saturday. James will have those 2-a-days all through the week. And until I get that chance, as I always tell you, keep an eye to the sky, because you'll always have something fun to look at.